Welcome to the InvestIn Podcast, the show where we help you learn how to make more money through real estate and other passive investments. We're your hosts, Zac Hoyt and Eric Richner, entrepreneurs, investors, and the guys behind Maverick Asher Capital. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just getting started, buckle up because we're taking you on a journey to help you achieve the lifestyle of your dreams.
Now let's hit the road.
Welcome back to the InvestIn Podcast, where we uncover tons of ways to achieve the life of your dreams. I'm your host, Zac Hoyt, flying solo today, so you and I can get a little one-on-one time. If you're following along from our last episode, we are on baby watch right now with me. That's because we have our first 1.5-year-old boy, and we have our next little boy that is imminent any freaking day right now. So we're trying to get everything tidied up in the business so that I can be there for my wife and, of course, take care of my other little boy and help her recover while all this new exciting change happens in life, right? Excited for all of that. Can't wait to have another little boy. It's such a joy. If you don't have kids, I'm sure you know people that do, right? But it's extremely exciting and fun and life-changing. So I would love to chat with you guys about that. And I'm sure I will on future ones. And of course, my co-host here, Eric, he is on baby moon right now, which, you know, is that little honeymoon thing where before you have a baby. So he took his wife and they were relaxing and having a good time on the beach, I think. So everyone needs a little bit of break in life. Lots of different things that are going on. And so he has that. So it's just me. So we get some one-on-one time, which is awesome because I'd love for you to learn about me a little bit more. And I've got some great takeaways for you today. I'm really big on mindset in life and, of course, real estate investing in general. So I've got some good nuggets that if you stay with me the whole time, I'll even drop them at the end to summarize. But these are huge life-changing things that have been instrumental in my development and change, and I hope they will be for you as well. So today I'm going to be discussing some typical blocks people have when starting something new and how you can attack those blocks with some real simple mindset shifts and tactics. Really awesome. Eric might be gone, but I'm rolling with the punches just like I did getting into real estate. And frankly, it's also what I do every single day as a CEO. Everyone thinks a CEO is glamorous. Well, it's all about, Elon Musk said it well, when it's eating glass while charging forward in the dark. So you don't know where you're going, and you got to lead your team, into that unknown, and you're eating glass the whole way. I always think it'd be nice if I could work on a project that was working and working well, while unfortunately the problems are the only things that get brought up to the CEO. I've got to deal with every little thing, no matter what it is, the aspect, whatever department. Yes, I've got people for that, but problems, they rise to the top, and so that's okay. Super awesome problem solving person. I'd love to help solve your problems in life as well. Get you ahead of the curve on some of the things that I've had to deal with. So hopefully you don't have to deal with them. And so I didn't want to put a pause on the podcast. I didn't want to wait. So I'm doing this solo episode just to help some people out there, just like you, who feel that you need to wait, right? So let's talk about waiting in general in life and how it is such a detriment. So many people, they just wait for the perfect time, for instance, to get into real estate. They wait until there's the perfect house. Then they wait until they have the perfect amount of money. They wait until their credit score isn't in the toilet. Then they wait until they have all the questions answered, everything lined up. And then they wait even more until they have, it's just where it's perfect and they're comfortable in life. Like, oh, it's got to be the right time in life, right? Because you think that you need to invest your own money and you think you need good credit and you think you have to do it a certain way. Well, I'm going to tell you that I broke all those rules. I started 2 decades ago with no money, no credit, and no experience. Yeah, it's more than possible. I'm proof. And I was an overthinking engineer in architecture school at the time. So I had to overcome my chronic problem of always thinking I needed to have all the answers. I needed to overcome that limiting belief that I had that I didn't have time to wait. I needed money and I needed it now. And get rid of these limiting beliefs in life, right? How many ways can we hack them so that we don't have them anymore? But moreover, I didn't want to wait. I was done putting my future vision for my life on hold. So I'm telling you right now, you do not have to wait, and you shouldn't wait. Just go and begin your path towards that highest and best self today. Don't wait, just do, right? Your future self is waiting for you to make that mindset shift. Don't disappoint them. They're waiting. They're in the future for you, just hoping, begging, striving for you to make those decisions. Okay, so you might have caught that real briefly as I said that, a little bit about myself. Had no money and destroyed credit when I got into real estate. Well, I bet you might wonder what happened with all of that. How did I get into that state where I had no money and destroyed credit? So here we go. I will share with you, right? Long story short, I was broke from my previous marriage. Long story longer, we fell in love in college, moved in together, got married. I was an optical mechanical research engineer at the time, working on building the world's most powerful laser system. All that while supporting my wife through medical school. So that's our situation at the time. She graduated. She matched to the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio. And I immediately quit my job and went back to school to get 3 more degrees here in Ohio in architecture and business. It was a ton of work, especially in the beginning, because the program was condensed 8 years of coursework into 4. So you're like, oh, half as long, it'd be twice as hard, right? No, it was exponentially as hard. And I always tell people architecture is the least amount of sleep I ever got in my life. It's insane. I was driving an hour each way to school because I thought her job was going to be harder. So we're basically 5 minutes away from her being a resident in the Cleveland Clinic. And so I drove an hour each way. And I was basically working until 2 to 3 a.m. most nights when I got home. And I'd have to leave by 7 a.m. in the morning in order to make it to school on time for this condensed program. My wife was working 80 hours a week as a medical resident on crazy shifts, and those shifts just did not align with mine. It was insane. We were exhausted, and unfortunately, we didn't find time for each other. So that sadly led to her seeking out comfort with another guy. I found out. We briefly tried therapy for all of that, but ultimately we were just broken at that point. We couldn't get out of the situation. We were in it in the moment, had too much going on. And so we separated and eventually got divorced. So not fun story at the time. Even more sadly for me, I took on all of her financial responsibilities, transferring her credit balances to me because I had great credit at the time, like 0, 1, 2% interest rates instead of her 10, 15, 25% interest rates that I was finding. But that's what a financially responsible and loving husband should do, right? Yeah. So I did. Well, I got stuck with all that debt in the divorce, and ultimately I couldn't afford to pay for it because I was still in architecture school, hardly getting any sleep every night. So I thought, screw it. What if I just don't pay it? What's the worst that can happen? Well, I'll tell you what happens. Your credit sucks afterwards. It tanks. Yeah, real bad, not good. Almost wish at this point had filed bankruptcy. I think it would have been faster in hindsight. But I just figured I'd deal with this problem later. Right? Just deal with this thing later. Awesome. So in that moment of hitting rock bottom, I had to do something different in my life. I couldn't just sit and wait because I was at the bottom. Just like how I'm rolling with Eric being gone right now on his baby moon. Wasn't planning on doing this, but here it is. And I think this is going to be pretty awesome and really going to help some people out there. So I'm excited, right? You have to be grateful for all of those things. And so it's funny because I am now extremely grateful and happy and loving, thankful and appreciative of my wife and the divorce, my previous wife and the divorce, because if it wasn't for that, I would not be here right now. I wouldn't be on this path that I'm at. So it's funny how life takes us where we are. And I would say, don't ever be sad about things in your past. I mean, you can, but there's lots of great healing that can happen around that. I might get into that in another episode because it's something that did change my life once I had that mindset shift at that point and did an exercise that my energy healing current wife and baby mama have taught me. So I'd love to share that with you guys on another episode. But going back to my rock bottom story here, where my marriage was falling apart. While we were separated, I ended up going to this coffee shop around me just to gain some perspective and, frankly, a new joy in life. So I went there and I'm like, hey, I want to not wallow in this sadness, but expand into the future. And now I have nothing in my way. I've got like all these possibilities, nothing in my way, my wife, no restrictions, right? I am my own person, my own man at this point. So what do I want to do? So I started writing my bucket list, listening to some live music in this coffee shop, had my computer out, and I'm writing my bucket list. And I ended up Googling a bunch of different things like, what do other people put on their bucket list? Like, give me some good ideas, right? Nowadays, we'd ask for ChatGPT, hey, write my bucket list for me, right? But I'd hope that you'd really put some intention into it and, take this exercise, write to your bucket list. It's pretty freaking powerful. It makes it so that there is nothing in your way of this is what I want to do. So just do it, right? Don't wait and just do those things. So it's crazy. That summer that I wrote that bucket list, it was real clear to me. It's like, these are the things I wanted to do. So guess what I freaking did? That summer I went scuba diving, skydiving, zip lining, parasailing. I learned to play the guitar. I learned to fly a plane, and I ran a full marathon. You guys ever do crazy stuff like that? I went from running 2 miles max, and I trained for less than 4 months, and I ran a full 26.2 mile marathon. Yeah, I was ready to lift myself up and crush any freaking self-doubt that I had. So it was pretty amazing. I completed that 26.2 mile race in Columbus, Ohio. It was awesome. There were 36 bands that were spread out along the whole way. So it kept you really interesting from music to another. Love live music, right? And it taught me one really important lesson. And that lesson is we are 100% limited and controlled by our mind. It's our mind. And whether you think you can or you can't do something in life, you are right. So why aren't we all just training and tricking our mind into believing that we can do anything? Right? Well, I would hope that you would want to ask that question and you would wonder what to do to achieve that, because that's what I want to give to you guys. I want to continually give you that. Ways to trick our mind, train our mind, trick it at first and train it over time so you can achieve anything in life. It's super powerful because whether you think you can or you can't, you are freaking right. Right? So I want to talk to you about a little bit how I got into real estate investing, because this all happened about the same time that I found real estate as like a profession at that point. I had known about things before and had always been curious, and I bought a foreclosure and fixed it all up while I was putting my first wife, through medical school. And I was an engineer, so it was my practice house that I played around with every single thing, learned how to do that. So I was interested in real estate already. But while I had this solace, this focus, this void of anything else other than my own thoughts, I'm like open to possibilities. So I saw this ad on TV. It was one of those fix and flip shows. It's like, hey, come into town, right? You can meet your fix and flip people and get into real estate too. Well, I went to the presentation. Sadly, the TV stars were definitely not there, and there was no intention of there. I did not read the asterisks. I guess in real estate and life, read the asterisks, but it didn't matter anyway. Right. It was a compelling presentation, like these sales presentations usually are. Kudos to them. I put $3,000 on a credit card. That led me to this week-long class that told me all the ways I could change my life because, gosh, everyone was telling me you can do this with no money and destroyed credit. Well, shoot, that's what I had at my time, right? Basically, no money from all of this and destroyed credit. I didn't want to look at it. No one else wanted to look at it. So real estate people are telling me that I can achieve the life of my dreams with that, right? Make millions of dollars, generational wealth. Very compelling presentation. But I'll tell you that, underneath that all, it is true. It really is true. The principles are true, and really goes back to you and what's in your head. So attending that week-long class, they tried to get me to buy $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 course, whatever the heck at that point. I negotiated them down. Hey, you can always negotiate, right? And it never hurts to ask. Open mouths don't get fed either, but in a similar way, you don't get it cheaper unless you ask, right? Or get something a little bit better for the same price unless you ask. So I didn't have the money at the time. So I convinced my parents to lend me 17 grand because that's how much I had negotiated for the specific course that I wanted. And of course, like, oh, I've got a plan to pay you back in 3 months, right? They teach you everything. Please, 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 please. This is everything that I need to do in my life. And my parents, remember, they didn't have lots of money, but they had tons of love. And so I was extremely appreciative when they continued to have faith in me and supported me in my ventures and in life. And so I want to continue to give that to my little boys and everyone around me. Because it was life-changing. It was freaking life-changing. I ended up wholesaling houses. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically you like get a house under contract, say, hey, I'm going to buy this house with a purchase agreement. And then you go sell that purchase agreement to somebody else. You're selling paper to somebody else. You never actually have to own the house when you're wholesaling. Well, and you get chunks of money right at closing, decent chunks of money. So I ended up wholesaling over my years over 500 houses altogether. And the one biggest transaction, so I went from like one at a time. It's like, okay, that's cool. Maybe I get 3 grand, 5 grand. Holy smokes, 10 grand. One time I got 25 grand from wholesaling a house, never owning it, just flipping this paper. Well, then I started doing multiple houses at once, and I got to the point where it was 10. It was 93 houses at once was the most that I did. That was pretty darn cool because it was just a little over 3 grand per house that I made on it. So it was basically 300 grand that I made without owning a thing. It's just like, this is the transaction. Pretty cool, right? Well, then I realized, hey, I'm going to have to continually do this and work. That kind of sucks. I wanted to have passive income. My goal was always to be able to have that freedom to be with the people that I loved, wherever they are at any given time in life. And so I needed passive income, passive wealth, things that could pay me money while I sleep. Well, how do I get into that? I know real estate is still it. Let me keep working. Let me elevate up from a wholesaler to flipping houses. So I moved into that. Right? Fixing up and selling these houses, sold them retail, renovated over 100 houses. And eventually I found out that I could make more money faster by refinancing those houses that I renovated and turning them into rentals. So this is all due to the fact that a cash out refinance, it actually shows up as a liability on your tax returns. You guys realize that? The money that you get from all that money, it would go back into my bank account from this refinance. So from the initial loan, I'd pay them back and there'd be more value in the house. So I'd get more money from that refinance loan and that would go into my bank account. Well, all of that money that is in my bank account none of it got taxed because it is a liability, right? It shows up on that side of your balance sheet. It's not an asset at that time. It's a liability. It's something you got to pay back, but it's real money that you can do stuff with. And I've got a tenant in place that can end up paying off that liability over time, and tax benefits that help erode that income that I get from that as well. And by the way, it's making money while I sleep. So it was just amazing. I'm like, I get to get all these continued benefits from real estate for decades to come. I'm like, wow, this is the ultimate answer. Boom. Mindset shift. I found a secret and I need to use that to own a lot more real estate. So I started buying lots of houses, managing them myself with my employees. I finally got that financial freedom that I was seeking from a freaking child. I wanted that from a child because I was trying to heal the fact that my dad worked his butt off for us and he wasn't home as much as I wanted him to be home. Shame on me. You don't realize that until you're an adult, but I've been seeking that financial freedom and I got it. It felt amazing. It was just awesome. So for all those things that I mentioned, I didn't know much beforehand and I just jumped into it, right? I stumbled in it, stumbling forward, failing forward. It's a book, by the way, Failing Forward. Check that one out. It's a good one. Failing forward. And that's what you have to do if you want to be successful in real estate, because it is moving around and changing, and life, right? Life is changing. So you just have to jump right in. So remember, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Great frickin' lesson from running. So after doing all of that, I want to share another little mindset shift and trick with you as well. So I use it, quite frankly, all the time. It's turned a little more natural now as opposed to scripted, how I'll end up telling you. But I often use this simple yet super powerful technique. And here it is. So when we're faced with a problem in life, our mind creates fear around that unknown and it tries to protect us. It'll subconsciously even sabotage our ability to overcome that problem. It'll stop you before you even try. So sometimes people don't even start. Like my previous example about waiting, right? Waiting. Let's get everything all right. Sometimes your mind, when trying to think about the problem and possible solutions, it just thinks like, can I really make this happen? Or even like, is this even possible? Right? Is this even possible to happen? Can I make it happen? Is it possible? And you ask, can I do this thing? So here's my really, really simple hack. Take out a piece of paper, right? Piece of paper, anything, whatever you have, small, big, whatever you have around you. Lined is great. I love lined paper, like back in the day. And here's why. I'll tell you, it helps out. So write your problem that you're facing right on the very top, like a title. Perhaps it's something like making more money. I want to make more money. I want to have more time with my family. I want to relax more, travel more, pay off your student loans. Whatever your goal is, it works with everything. So just write it at the top. Then below that, write these words. How many ways can I blank? And write your goal right there again. How many ways can I blank? Then below that, just start listing all the ways that you can achieve your goal. Your mind's going to naturally come up with more than one because you asked yourself ways with an S. It's plural. So you're tricking your mind. It's tricking it. You're not asking, can I? You've bypassed that whole, is it possible to do this? And the whole, can I do this? And even the, how can I do this? Don't ask how. It is not, how can I do this? It's incorrect. You want to go right to the end with the, how many ways can I do this? Because now your mind's not thinking, is it binary? Is it, can I or can't I do it? And it's not even thinking, how can I do it? I got to, let's think all day and figure out, how can I do this? Let me solve this thing. No. How many ways? Just start writing them down. And it'll solve your problems. It's super freaking powerful, right? Try it and let me know how it changes your approach to problems. I literally attack this like that all the time. And it helps every aspect in life. It's just amazing. So I'm telling you all this because I applied both those mindset mantras when I found RV Park as an asset class, because RV parks just kind of popped up in my life. And I hardly knew anything about it when I started. I wasn't RVing around the country. I wasn't doing that as a young kid. That's what the rich family did, right? Not our family. So I didn't have experience doing that, but I had a ton of experience with real estate, and I was noticing things at the time, a year and a half ago, when I found real estate in for RV parks. I was noticing things that are amazing about it, but I hardly knew anything about it. So, repeating my conversation from our last episode, I didn't know exactly how I wanted to expand to the next level in real estate and in life. And I was searching for my next big step, something that really filled my bank account and my soul, needed it to fill my soul. So, all those other aspects of life that typically lie outside of work. If you recall, I've got my hollow chocolate Easter bunny story from the previous episode that kind of really drives it home for me. So I found RV parks. It wasn't the perfect time. We literally just had a baby. However, I knew that this was it, right? For years, I was searching for a change. This was presented to me. There's no perfect time, although every time is the perfect time, right? That's mindset shift. And I just went with it. I took that initiative. And first off, I knew I could do it. Going back to whether you think you can or you can't, you're right? I knew I could do it in my mind. And I asked myself, how many ways will I be a rock star in this niche space? Not even how many ways can I do this, right? How many ways can I be a rock star in this niche space of RV parks as an asset class? And here we are a couple of years later, and I'm developing the world's most technologically advanced RV destination in the world and buying 25 RV parks in the next 5 years that cash flow buku bucks that we get to spend time at with my family, teach my little boys all about nature, all about finance, all about, gosh, everything as we travel around and enjoy these different places and spend time together. Time, freedom, money. Those are the things that I really wanted so that I could focus on what's important to me, which is my family and honestly helping other people. It's right here on my little cheat sheet that my manifesting matrix I'll probably share with you another time as well, because that's been super powerful in my good times and my low times. And after all, this is the podcast that's called the InvestIn Podcast. So I took the time to invest in this newfound RV park venture. I invested my resources. I invested my time. However, what I didn't invest in at first was with my own money. So I'm always looking for other people to invest their money. Why, you might ask? So one life-altering realization that I got in my real estate career is that if I implement a personal investing strategy that uses my own money, I'm going to be done investing pretty darn quickly. Right? Because remember, I had no money starting up. So does that mean that I can't start? No, heck no. Heck no. I just have to find other ways of solving that lack of money problem. So how many ways can I get started without money? And it's pretty powerful. And guess what else? No matter how much money you have in your life, the world has tons more. So leverage it, right? And I did. I started looking for all the ways that I could use other people's money to achieve my goals. And in that journey, I uncovered all the creative ways of purchasing real estate. I'm sure I'll go into those creative strategies in later episodes too, because they're absolute frickin' gold. And that's what I want to share with you guys is gold. And so that's what I'm doing here today. And so I learned all the ways, most importantly, to protect other people's money. Because you can't just give people an awesome investment opportunity. You absolutely must be a good steward of their money, meaning you have to protect their money in every freaking way possible. So critical. And so I became an expert in protecting other people's money in real estate. I wrote articles about it, posted on social media, gave webinars, presented on stage, did everything I could to become an expert at protecting other people's money. because that, my friends, is part of the secret sauce of becoming a successful real estate investor. Make your money people happy and safe, and everything else is great. And that makes a win-win-win all the way around, which also means everyone will be excited when you have a new investment opportunity for them. Da-da-da. And that turns into your deal being funded, your goals being achieved, which for me meant having the freedom to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with the loved ones that I want. And for you, it's whatever you want to do with your time and your financial freedom. So that's what I want to leave you with today, right? Is those things. So wrapping this up, I just wanted to tell you a little bit of my stories growing up, how I got into things, and tease you of some things that you could get in later episodes because they're pretty freaking powerful, and I can't wait to share with you them. I gave you 3 mindset shifts that you can adopt immediately, right? First one is don't wait, just do. Don't wait, whatever the thing is. Don't wait, just do it. There's a Benjamin Franklin quote. It's like, don't put off for tomorrow that which you can do today. And he got a lot of shit done, didn't he? Right? So that dude got a lot of stuff done in his time, but it's simply don't wait, just do it. The next mindset shift is how many ways? How many ways can I make this happen? Just change your thinking of can I or can't I or anything related to that. Just how many ways? If you feel yourself with a block, use that technique I told you. Write it down. How many ways can I make this happen? And then the last mindset shift is whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Hey, if you don't think you can run a marathon, guess what you're not going to be able to do? Run a marathon. If you don't think that you can do real estate, guess what you're not going to be able to do, right? But if you think you can do something, then you're going to be on a good start to it. So think that you can do it and ask yourself, how many ways can I do it? And I'll even give you some future ones that compound this even further because, we have a limit to what we know, but there's ways to hack that even more and to make it easy. So it's getting over a lot of your fears, your limiting beliefs, and frankly, just taking some great advice from all these wonderful books that are out there, these great thought leaders that share this information, but people don't tend to, 1, either know it, or 2, incorporate it into their life, or 3, have people that really support it after they're incorporating it into their life. So I'm going to support you. I'm going to share things with you, and we're going to get your life to this new fun space that you want, right? That freedom for whatever the heck you want to do in life. So those 3 mindset shifts are pretty awesome, right? So you can adopt them immediately. And then I also dropped 3 real estate investing nuggets on you. So the first one is buy and hold for long-term wealth. Buy and hold. Don't fix and flip and sell it. Don't wholesale. That is active, very active income. Passive is the way to be so that you can have that freedom. You don't need another job or 10 other jobs. If you try many different businesses, I know a guy around here that ends up flipping 100 houses a year. Holy smokes, right? And then he has a tax problem at the end because he makes so much darn money, which, some people I'm sure would love to have that tax problem, but there's so many reasons, and I'll go into them in a later episode of why it's so much more beneficial to just refinance a home, own that home over time. Real estate is something that gives you money in the beginning and over time, and then at the end. It is the gift that keeps on giving. So buy and hold for long-term wealth. The next real estate nugget is use other people's money. The world has tons more than you, and they're begging for their money to be put to good use. But use other people's money. Some people just buy homes with cash. Man, that is extremely limiting. And then there's other people that will leverage their homes too much and extract all the money out of it. Now, I'm not advocating that, but there is a good bit of information that you should leverage debt that's out there because money is expanding. It's inflating. I'm sure you guys know that on a very fundamental level. We can go into a deeper level at some point, but when money is inflating like that, it's not worth as much as it was. So buy real estate over here now. And then in the later, that money that you even borrowed isn't even worth as much. So you can pay it off easier in the future. That's just like scratching the surface of things. But gosh, leverage, meaning put money from a lender, like a bank type of person. We'll talk about banks in a later episode too, because banks are a 4-letter word to me. I avoid them at all cost. There's much better options, but use other people's money. OPM, you'll hear other people's money, because the world has tons more. And then the third real estate investing gold nugget, ask yourself, how many ways can I protect my investors? How many ways can I protect these people that I love so much and that you are in this partnership with and that enable you to achieve your goals? How many ways can I protect my investors? Ask other people that too, right? You don't have to just ask these things to yourself. That, by the way, with this sheet of paper, when you're putting it on the top, how many ways? Why limit it to just what you know? So ask other people how many ways, but try as much as you can. Fill up that paper. How many ways can I protect my investors? Because those investors, they'll see that, they'll love you for that, they'll invest with you, they'll continue investing with you, and then it's a win for everyone. It's just beautiful. Great stuff, right? All right, so I hope you enjoyed this one. Drop it in the comments. What has been your experience with real estate investing and either borrowing or investing money? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Of course, any questions you might have. I'm down for any of that. I used to have a university teaching people in person and groups online, and I host monthly virtual meetups for people in the RV park asset class space and webinars for investors nowadays. And so I love hearing your thoughts, your questions, your experience. Share them. Just drop them in the comments. And if any of these topics interest you and you want to learn more, just stay in touch. Look in the show notes and you'll find an InvestIn Insider little newsletter that we'll end up sending out. You can become one of these InvestIn insiders with us. And so you can continue the journey, get a little bit closer to me, to us, and hopefully your goals, achieving them, right? Because I really do love helping people out in this world. And so if you're listening, you are someone that I love to help out. I wish I could tell all these things to my previous self. And that's going to be one of these episodes in the future is, what are the 5 main things that I wish I could have told myself in the past that I know now? And so these ones that I'm dropping with you today are freaking gold. Let me tell you what. But there's so many more. So yeah, if you want to become an InvestIn insider, check that out in the show notes. And who knows, maybe you even want to chat with me directly about your investments. Guess what? I do that with people all the freaking time. All the time. Just expose their mind to things that are out there. So you'll see a link to that in the show notes as well, where you can schedule a one-on-one discovery call with me and we can chat and see each other in person. How exciting. All right. So with that, I need to go check and see if my second baby boy has popped out yet. And so join me next time for more ways to invest in your mind, your life, and your bank account. Be well, everyone. That's a wrap for this episode of the InvestIn Podcast. We hope you gained valuable insights to fuel your investment journey.
If you found this episode helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Your support helps us bring more insider knowledge from the top real estate and investment minds.
And if you're ready to take your investments to the next level, follow us on social media at GoInvestIn on Instagram, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and everywhere for more expert tips, behind-the-scenes content, and exclusive updates.
Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep investing, keep building, and we'll see you on the road.